Pass your awareness down the body, starting at the head, and let me know if you find anything.
My heart is just beating a little faster.
Mm-hmm.
I can feel my heartbeat like in my stomach.
Okay.
It feels like it's extra intense than normal. Not with anxiety, but like a connection.
Mm-hmm. Let's take a look at that heart and see if we can understand why it's beating so fast and the connection that it's trying to make. And as you connect even more deeply with the heart, connecting even more deeply with the heart, tell me what's going on there. Why is that heart beating so quickly?
Because I feel more of a connection to the live things in the garden than I ever have before.
Tell me about that connection.
They're wanting to connect with me, gathering, leaning in, listening, and sending me love as I am sending them love.
Who are these beings that are wanting to connect with you today?
Well, I'm seeing tulips and lots of arrangements of flowers, roses, but a lot of tulips. The trees are leaning in. It's like they're listening. The trees want me to know something, that I'm like them. Like a tree. I'm like a tree with my center. The way I'm built, the center, I have my like tree stump that goes through the center of my body. My arms and legs are the limbs. I'm reminded of a dream I had about leaves. In my dream, I was being attacked and I threw myself into a garden and I was rolling in the grass, and all of a sudden all these leaves from a tree started falling onto me, hundreds and hundreds of leaves, and they were giving me protection, and they were shielding me and bringing me comfort, and they were so soft and floating down like a blanket of warmth and love to help protect me from the attack. And they're reminding me of this dream and what I felt with those leaves. And they started lifting in the dream off of me, and I didn't want them to go. I wanted them to come back because it felt so peaceful and so loving. And in my thoughts, I said, please don't go, please. And they said I had to acknowledge that they were alive and that what their role was, that they were bringing me protection, and I had to give them thanks, like gratitude. And as I thanked them and gave that acknowledgement of their life and their mission and their souls and their power, as I did that, they came back and they rested upon me again and gave me all of this peace and comfort. And it was so beautiful. I'm just remembering it and feeling it again. And those leaves turned into letters later in the dream, like the leaves turned into like notes, written things on them. And I remember reading them, and they were giving me messages, like reminding me of people in my life who had been there for me, who I loved. There was like names written on them and things in my life. It was like my own tree of life. Like we all have our own tree that we're connected to. And the leaves are like our connections. So it's like those leaves represented love and experiences that were comforting me, and that we are connected to trees because if we can look at our body like a tree, that's how it resembles a tree. I'm in a white dress this time. It's like a flowy white dress.
Mm-hmm.
And I have a gold, not a crown, but like a gold halo around my head. They want to learn from me. They're there to listen because they want to learn.
Tell me who it is that wants to learn. Is it the trees, or is there someone else there with you?
You know, in the movie Alice in Wonderland, how the tulips have ears?
Mm-hmm.
I'm getting like that visual, like they all want to listen in. Everything that's alive in the garden, every blade of grass and every flower, every tree, every beautiful alive thing in the garden is there to listen. Oh, but I just saw people come in.
Mm-hmm.
There's like multitudes of people walking into the garden, and they're sitting down to listen and to share and to connect and to unite, bringing forth their energy to help me to feel supported, to feel courage. And now we're spinning. The garden is spinning slowly. It's like rotating in a clockwise direction. We are moving. The garden is moving.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to like another dimension or place through a portal.
Tell me what happens next.
We're still just spinning.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to a higher dimension as a collective. It's settling. They're telling me that this is similar to the experience I had at the women's retreat,
Mm-hmm.
where I was told to look at the portal in front of me and then to let more women join us, to come in and sit by us and to feel of their connection so that we may unite. And then we stood up and was told to all hold hands in a circle, and we were moving in a circle. We were going to a higher dimension. I didn't realize that. That's what we were doing. We were uniting, holding hands, going in a circle, moving, and had opened up a light portal. And we were bringing all those people there with us in that room to a higher dimension. And that's why we all experienced what we did in that room. People were having all kinds of experiences and connecting and feeling. And that's when I got brave and I danced for Jesus. I'm a choreographer, but not just a choreographer of dance. I choreograph moments, experiences for other people. And I've seen in my mind's eye and vision when I go there, I'm dancing. And it's the way I express my love and gratitude for him. It's the way that I express myself through choreography. And I was able in that experience to find the courage to dance, and everybody was experiencing it in their own way, and some were on the floor and some were singing and some were just feeling, but I danced and I helped others experience because of that choreography of energy creates an experience for others. And when I went into the garden in my white flowy dress, I was dancing amongst the flowers in the grass, expressing my love.
Beautiful. So when you're doing that dance and bringing those women together, I feel like Julie has a little bit of an ability to activate or bring forward these energies in others. Tell her a little bit about what she's doing when she's connecting with other people and the energy that she brings forward.
She brings out their gifts, helps activate them. She brings them confidence in themselves. By watching her confidence and her expressing that, it gives them the courage to express themselves. She projects her light out, almost bringing them in a place of safety, to feel safe, to be their truest self. She isn't afraid to be embarrassed. She projects love through her movements because of the way she can take light, energy from the source, from the light, from the sun, from the light of Christ. She uses that, and by activating it within herself and manipulating that energy for good by the touch of her hand or a hug, it's like an electric current that goes through the body, like an activation, a connection, a love connection that helps to activate and for them to feel, for them to see themselves as they truly are, as God sees them. They feel safer. They feel like it's a safe place, and they open up to her, which is why she experiences downloads of their thought energy, why she can help them remove blocks and move forward. Telepathically, she connects to them. She hears their pains, their sorrows, their sadness, and feeling unworthy and not enough. And she helps them feel the opposite, that they are enough, that they are worthy, to see themselves in a new light as they are and not as the darkness wants them to see.
Beautiful. How can she begin to tap in even more to these energies and bring them forward to help others? What does she need to know about these gifts and abilities that are coming online?
First, she needs to believe that she has them. Sometimes she does, and sometimes she doubts. Says, why me? As she continues to believe in herself, come into her own, know her worthiness, she will continue to grow these gifts in a way that will be able to help so many. It's all about removing all self-doubt, removing the blocks, removing all of the lies, the false beliefs, and knowing that it's not coming from a place of pride and ego, but a place of humility and love. Because she has a love for all of God's children in a way, in a manner that is so beautiful. She came here to help. She volunteered. She's been developing these gifts for many, many lives so that she could be here now at this time to help those who are lost, the lost in conjunction to the lost boys. As we've been telling her, she is Peter Pan, or like a symbol of Peter Pan, gathering the lost souls, helping them to find themselves, retrieve their soul parts, to see the light that is within them as it relates to their DNA being like him, like those celestial beings. It's in them, and some have forgotten. That's part of them, and every one of us have the ability to become anything that we want. Goddesses and gods, the highest levels of beautiful beings, angelic beings. It's already in us. It's there. So we've forgotten. We don't see it because we believe the false beliefs. We believe the lies that are being told to us.
How can we begin to release those belief systems that we've created so that we can activate our DNA and begin to step into those angelic beings that we could become? How do we do that?
There's different levels of doing it. It's line upon line. Some start with energy work, clearing out the negative, clearing out the mucky muck so that their diamond can shine through, their light can shine through. It's like chipping away at the diamond that's inside of them. It's covered, and you have to like chip away at it. And by doing that, you're revealing more and more light. And the more light you reveal, the more light you see, and it becomes easier to reveal even more. But there's different layers. So it depends on where you're at in your progression and your knowledge and your understanding. For some, it will be starting with energy work. For others, with further light and knowledge, it will be understanding their body and how it connects to the universe and how it connects to Gaia, how it connects to the solar system and the solar system within our bodies, and understanding each part of our body, the womb, the kidneys, the liver, all of it, and how it represents and is connected to the universe. You will learn quicker ways to release and heal. You will connect more with your higher self as this knowledge is fed and as it grows. You will be able to move quicker through light portals into higher dimensions. And as you do this, you will know yourself better, your truest self, better than you ever have before.
So you mentioned about our bodies having their own universe, and she was getting that information that our bodies are like a solar system and that the womb can hold a universe. Can you give us a little more information about that?
It's all about, it has to do with creation, creation energy. We are creating. Some of us are creating now for other planets that are being formed, and we are creating light beings, energetically, spiritually, to other planets. As we create more light by raising our frequencies, it's all about creation, and the darkness is trying to steal creation energy in every manner on this planet, in every form, in every manner. This is what they're trying to do. It's all about creation energy. And that's why we have to protect our solar plexus and our solar system inside of us. That's why they have attacked that area of our body with COVID, because it is the central part of our body that sends out the signals to every other part of our body, to every organ. It is the central part of our body, and they are attacking it with this venom that has been created by the dark side, that is attacking the immune system and the digestive system, because it's all about creation energy. That's what it's about. That's what they're trying to destroy. And they don't want pure DNA. In Noah's time, they didn't have pure DNA. That's why there had to be the reset, the flood, is because they were receiving similar vaccinations to their bodies that were changing their DNA. And the only ones that were allowed to move forward were those who had pure DNA. Because in order to create light at the highest level, you need pure DNA to do that. And that's why they are targeting to change our DNA, to change us, to make us not human, to make us more like reptilians. You can see it in their eyes. Just look at some of their eyes. Look at some of the politicians' eyes and some of these elite people. They're not human. They're reptilians. That's what they want. They don't want us to be pure, godlike human DNA anymore. That if they can do that, they can eradicate the sacred bloodline of Christ and his family, those who are direct line. I am a direct line, as direct bloodline as they come to Mother Mary, Gaia, purest DNA direct line. That's why I saw in my last session this cord, this line to Captain Marvel. It's a direct line. This is why they told me not to get the vaccination, why it's so vital that I don't.
What else can you share with us? Because I know lately this information about the venom has been coming out. What else can you share with us from your perspective about what that is and how it's affecting us?
It's affecting everybody differently, depending on where they are in their knowledge and being awake. So for those who chose to get the vaccination out of fear and thought that it would save them, there's only one thing that can save you. And it's not the vaccination. It's not, you aren't supposed to look at the arm of flesh for our saving. We're not supposed to look at some other magical thing that they tell us will protect us. We need to look higher. We need to look up. We need to look to the source that will save us. And that's the only thing. So for those who have used this vaccination almost like an idol, then it will affect them differently. It will affect them in a worse way where it will be harder for them. They will slowly decline. It will change them. They will not be able to discover their truest self. It will block all of that from happening. But there's different levels. Those who got it not knowing, and those who didn't get it but are still receiving the venom through other modalities, other way that they are putting it into our food, into our water, into chemtrails, into the air we breathe. Those who are awake, those who have eyes to see, those who look and keep their eyes focused on light and not fear, then the venom they receive will not affect them in the way that it does others. The poison, it's poisoning our body. The poison that they receive will not poison them. It will not affect them. They will be protected, shielded from it. But as she was shown the IV connected to her heart, where she is receiving some of that poison. There is some of it is coming from the light side and some of it is coming from the dark side. And you have to ask, when you feel it into your body, if you feel it as she has been feeling, sometimes that burning feeling as it radiates and then shoots down through her body. When she feels it, she needs to ask, is this coming from the light side or the dark side? Because the light is also allowing us to receive some or giving us some to help build up our immunity for those who have work to do, who have promised to be here to help others wake up and to help push out the darkness and be light workers. They are receiving some of this poison to help build up their immunities. And we should not be afraid of it, but understand why we are receiving some of it. And ask where it's coming from. And if it's coming from the dark side, then you need to remove it and clear out energetically. And ask how much you're getting, and if you're getting too much. We need to be asking these questions and be listening to our bodies and how they are feeling. And if we are dealing with some health issues, we need to address them with changing our diet and exercising and doing all of those things to help keep our physical bodies strong and at high vibration so they may perform well and be able to take us through all the trials and tribulations that are to come.
What can you tell us about the trials and the tribulations that are to come? What can you share?
They are necessary for our growth and humility and ego. Without them, we will not be ready. Through trials and tribulation comes more love and empathy and understanding. And we're dealing with a human race that is struggling with their egos, with playing the victim and saying, woe is me. So by going through the tribulations to come, the hard things to come, not just in their individual journeys and personal lives, but as a collective for what is coming to this planet, it will not only help lower their egos to where they will be ready to push out the darkness. They will not be able to do this until they have come to a place of when they can be in a place that is so dark, that is so evil, that is so hard, and they can still keep their vibrations high, where they can still project love, where they can not blame God, where they can not blame anyone, and stand in a place of love and light and not be moved, not be shaken. That's when the darkness will be able to be pushed out. That's when they will unite in a way that will be able to welcome in more light and help Gaia to transition to the celestialized body that she is meant to return to. And it's going to take all of us who are awake and aware. But you have to learn to be in the darkness and still stay in the light, not let the darkness succumb, or not to succumb to the darkness, and not let the darkness overcome this planet and you as an individual. As Gaia is raising to new vibrations, she's already moving up. All of these things that are happening in the world, the earthquakes, the volcanoes, and everything is helping her to cleanse and to move up closer to the light, to a higher dimension, higher vibration, to the light of source, to where this planet won't need anything but that energy to light it. And as she's moving up, and it's already begun, we are too moving up with her. And if we're not willing to face these hard challenges, to face the darkness, to face the things that are keeping us from progressing, if we're not willing to face all of those, we will be left behind. We will not rise up with her. It's all happening at once. It's all connected. We're doing it together. She's going to be in a different place. She's going to be in a different place in the universe. It'll be higher. She fell. It was literal.
What happened to cause her to fall?
In the garden. It was always the plan. We had to fall so that we could rise. She could become greater, more beautiful. It's all for a greater purpose and bringing more with us, helping those who are lost. Some of us condescended and fell to help those who are struggling, to bring them back with us, and to finally push out this darkness from it's not just on this planet. It's like we're all connected in all these universes of time that have gone on for. We're coming to a head. We're coming to a space that will. It's having to do with the number 7 and things that you hear about in Hebrew, jubilees and numbers. It's coming to a head in a way like it's never been done before, where we will be pushing out darkness on a level that's never been done before. And it's not just for our planet. As Christ didn't atone for just this planet, he atoned for many, many. And we're all uniting. It's just not this planet. It's bigger than we can comprehend or imagine or understand at this time, and grander. It's bigger and grander.
When you say we're pushing out the darkness, and we're not just pushing it out for this planet, but for many, where does that darkness go? Does that darkness disappear? Does it go to another place? What happens to it?
Some of it dies. If they can't steal creation energy from us anymore, then they can't survive. We are allowing them to take our light, our creation, light energy, and that's how they're using it. They're manipulating it to create other species, they're manipulating the DNA and creating, and they're manipulating the creation energy. And so if we don't allow them to take that from us anymore, then they're going to die off. But that's just for this planet at this time. It will end on this planet. It will be celestialized. It will be a place of serenity, a place of peace and beauty beyond anything you can imagine. For they're showing me a clip of the Eternals movie at the end of the movie where they put Tiamat back to sleep, and the being who deceived them all, who was light, and then he was hidden, cloaked, but then as he's uncloaked and we realize he's dark, it symbolizes what has gone on our planet. At the end of the movie where he wants to destroy everything, and the woman who loved him, she expresses that love to him, where he is reminded of love, and it brings healing to, and it puts Tiamat to sleep. There's something really symbolic there where love is going to heal this planet in some major way, having to do with a very dark being that used to be light. He was son of the morning. And he is in a lot of pain and hurt. And the thing that's going to heal this planet, that will be part of the final battle, part of the winning, will have to do with love in a way that we can't understand at this time, but there's something to do with, there's something we're supposed to look at with the end of that movie that is symbolic, that has truths to it. But I don't understand all of it and what they're showing me, but it's very symbolic.
Very good. So she is getting a lot of information connected to these Marvel movies, especially with Captain Marvel and Wonder Woman, and connected to the Star of David. What is that symbol that she's been seeing in her third eye when she closes her eyes at night? And what can you tell her about how it's connected to these superhero movies that continue to come into her reality?
We are triggering memories, triggering knowledge for her. The symbol is very sacred geometry that has to do with the universe. And we have put the symbol on these characters in these movies to help trigger memories for her and for others, so that they may start to understand the symbolisms, the geometry, because energy is sacred geometry. It is mathematics. And in order to become goddesses and gods and create your own planets, you have to understand energy. You have to understand the geometry. And she knows a lot already about this and how to manipulate the energy and how it works with these symbols. But we're slowly bringing it back to her consciousness. as we are getting closer to the meridian of time, as veils are being removed, her third eye is opening even more. And as it does, we will continue to show her these things to bring them back to her memory as she puts the pieces together. And we can't give it to her all at once because it would be too much. But we told her, we kept showing her this symbol. We showed it to her on her ceiling, in her third eye, in dream, because there's so much to it. But we wanted her to find that connection to Captain Marvel so that she would go down the rabbit hole of learning more as she does the work, listens to the promptings we're giving her, then we can give her more because she's doing the work. If she ignored it, we wouldn't be able to give her the next step because she has to put out her own energy and do some of the work. This will help her trust herself more, believe in herself, and know that the information that she is getting is truth. And she can trust it and believe it. And she's putting these connections together, and they will come quicker and faster as we are speeding up time and getting closer to big markers. Each marker that we come to, more is revealed. But we have to hit those markers too. It takes us to hit those markers. We have to do the work. It's not just going to be given to us freely. We want her to understand the gifts that lie within her. We want her to practice using them more, to develop them so that she may be ready. The way that she can do this is practicing with light energy. She's been doing this in some ways on a smaller scale, but she knows that we've been asking her to do this on a larger scale. She's been afraid, not just of her own abilities and gifts, but of getting it wrong or doing something that will bring in more darkness. We tell her, do not be afraid. It's all for your greater learning. The time is now to be not afraid, to come into your gifts and your power, your strength.
We talked about earlier about her ability to activate. In our last session, when we were bringing our hands together, I could feel an activation in my own hands and the energy flowing between us. And there have been others that have listened to that session online and also feel that energy. Tell us a little bit about how that works, and when someone listens to these sessions, how they are also receiving those activations.
It's all energy. And as she projects that energy, and those who are awake and are in tune, they may receive it as well. it's being passed. It's a ripple effect. It's a wave. She's creating waves of energy that are going through space and time, and those who are ready to receive it, who are aware, who feel it, can then take it. They can consume it. They can use it to create and pass it forward to somebody else. It's all being passed and used and utilized. And we're showing her hands lighting up right now. It's like a glowing outline over each individual finger of light. We need her to visualize this. It's when she crosses her eyes, she can see it. It's opening her third eye, her lights. Woo! There they are. What can I do with these right now to help others? Activate. Now I'm feeling it in my fingers.
I'm feeling it in my fingers as well. You have magic hands.
I'm pushing and pushing the light out to help activate even more. For those listening to this session, we want you to practice as well. If you're feeling it in your hands, activate them, feel the tingling, visualize the light from them, push the energy out into this planet for healing, for activation. Make it a wave, like the ocean. The ocean current waves have so much electricity and they bring forth so much energy. We can do it with our hands. We create these waves of energy. This has to do with pure technology that is to come into this planet. No more 5G, no more negative energy that's affecting the body in a negative way. We're going to clear that out. We need to activate this light into our planet for pure energy. I'm going to push it out. This is having to do with the palm of the hand, connecting to the light of Christ, where he was nailed to the cross. I'm feeling it. And in the feet, connecting to earth, who is Mother Gaia, who is Mother Mary, who is Christ, his wife, connecting to them, connecting to the family, bringing the family home, and just visualizing some angelic beings in the sky, connecting to them. It's like we're all connecting. Our energies, they just keep telling me with great sacrifice comes great reward. We've asked you to sacrifice, and in return will come great reward. I'm not sure what that means.
What else does she need to know or understand about that?
I condescended to help bring others back with me, and it was a great sacrifice. As Christ condescended. We all do it to help bring our family home. There is greater sacrifices that are to come that I will experience. They're trying to remind me that with these sacrifices, there will be great reward.
Anything else that they could share with you about that?
Earlier, there was you felt a being come in to your right side, a light being who is holding my hand. There's more.
Oh,
There's movement, shaking. What? She's helping to balance me, balance out some of the shaky energy. And to help. Oh, wait. Okay, hold on. It's my higher self. Ooh. There is some unbalancing going. They keep telling me the word balancing. We're just trying to balance some energy, and she was holding my hand and I was holding my hands. It was bringing through my higher self's light into activating even more power into my hands. Whoa, there they are again. Just like activating more, but balancing it out because there's it's a lot of energy going on right now. We were bringing it in through portals and other dimensions. So we're just trying to balance.
And just let me know when you feel like that's been completed.
Okay. Oh, that's cool. I'm physically feeling like an energetic touch of balancing of energy onto my body. Reminding me that physical touch is good, massages and those kinds of things. I don't always allow that very much, but I'm getting kind of a form of that right now.
Beautiful. Has the energy settled down a little bit? Or are you still feeling it intensely?
It's not as intense, it's settling, but I think they're trying to explain to me what goes on in my bed.
That was the next question I was going to ask. What was the moving around that she felt when she was on her way to sleep one night? What was happening there?
So what I'm hearing is that when I'm in this state of the third eye opening and receiving some of this information, it's a lot of energy coming in and I become unbalanced. And so it's literally like a balancing act. So when I felt all this movement on my bed, they were coming to balance the energy because, I tend to bring it in a little too fast. They're telling me I literally like attract so much of it so fast that it comes in like a wave, almost like the ocean when you can't get balanced. And they're balancing me. That's why I feel all the movement on my bed.
So now you say they're coming in to balance her. She said she heard two women almost standing outside speaking in either a light language or a language she didn't understand. Is that connected to that, or who were those women?
They were two of her guides having a conversation about the situation, and it was almost comical. Um, they think she is comical sometimes with what she does with her gifts. She wants everything now, and we have to slow her down. She's going really fast through her learning, and also through portals sometimes, as Captain Marvel is one of the fastest beings in the universe. She is similar. She does similar things with her energy. She does everything fast. She talks fast. She moves through portals very quickly. We have to continually balance her and slow her down. And so it was kind of like a conversation going on outside her window of just it was comical.
What is it that allows her to hear these beings? Because obviously they're at a different vibration than her, but she could hear them.
Because she goes to the higher dimensions often. And she's doing it while she's asleep, but now she started doing it while she's awake. This is ever since she connected to her higher self and learned that she could fly, she's going everywhere.
Wow.
And as she goes through these portals, like we said, she goes very quickly. So she's like, zing, 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 zing. And we're like, okay. Her energy's, yes, her energy is always up here. And we're constantly trying to bring her back down here. She's ready to get on with the show, kick some butt, and she wants her gifts to all be activated and developed now, because she just is ready. She's ready to, she keeps seeing that scene from Wonder Woman where she jumps the barrier and starts taking the bullets, but we keep having to pull her back because she's quite not ready to take those bullets yet.
I feel her. I want all those gifts activated now too, so I get it.
Yeah. Yes, many of you do.
Yes.
And it has to be line upon line, or your physical body wouldn't be able to handle all of those upgrades and changes. It has to keep up, and it's that's why as Gaia is moving up slowly, so are you. We can't have Gaia exploding volcanic activity all over the planet all at once.
Makes sense.
Everything has to be done slowly and cleansed and move up slowly as the body is ready to handle it. She's learning this more and more as her body has been struggling a little bit, and we're giving her some extra inspiration on things that she can do to help her physical body keep up. There are some certain supplements and things we've directed her to that have been helping. And her body is starting to settle, had a big upgrade over the last few months that her body had a major reaction to. And we were trying to settle her back into that physical body with some healing. We are doing healing for her on this side, but we've also sent her inspiration for her to do for this realm in her physical body that will help.
Beautiful. Anything else that she needs to know to help keep that energy more in balance and alignment?
She's actually taking direction really well and taking cue to the things that we are telling her. Let me scan her body and see how it's doing.
Very good.
She is concerned about a clot that came out of her during her last cycle that was fairly large. She saw it as a bad thing and was very concerned about it, but it was actually a good thing. She was getting rid of some more toxins and waste and poison that has been in her body that needed to be removed. And she was ready to release it. And she needs to not worry about it. It was a good thing.
Very good. Any additional healing that she needs today?
More balancing of the hormones. We could send her and to the female parts, we can send her some more light healing there and energy frequencies, healing frequencies there to continue to help with her cycle.
Very good. So she had a question about where are we in the timeline of the overlap in time? And how does that connect with the number 8, the infinity symbol? What can you share with us about that information that she's receiving? What does she need to know?
We want to bring to her attention the infinity wars. There's a reason it was called that in relation to the figure 8, the overlap. The last movie in the Avengers series Endgames, Infinity Wars. It's all connected symbolically with how this happens with time, as those characters went back in time to collect the Infinity Stones. It's representative of collecting lost soul parts, gathering your truest self together as one. As the atonement is at one-ment, we need to become at one-ment with ourselves through all of our past lives, through as the time overlaps. This is what's happening. It's this portal opening and allowing us to go and gather our own infinity stones. And as they come together, the power within ourselves, within me and my hands, as I gather my own infinity stones, will be activated in a way I've never seen before. Something with a fist. They place those stones in the knuckles, in the fist, and it lights up. It's like your whole self at one-ment. Wow. I need to go watch the movie again. Who's with me?
I do too. I'm going to watch, I think, every one of them now. They'll have a whole new meaning, won't they?
Yes. Let's bring some more through. Okay, I'm listening. Okay. So there are a select few of us whose mission is to collect our stones first to help others collect their stones as we come together. There's that light again. as we come together and unite in this battle against the dark forces. And it's all in relation, in conjunction with the X. That spot, X marks the spot. When we hit that meridian of time, is that battle. It's that we have come together. We have brought it all in. All these dimensions, all of these timelines come together at one, at this perfect moment that will defeat and remove the darkness. And it has to do with planet X as well. It's all connected. That X, it's so that the solar eclipse that's going to come through 2024 and make that X across the United States, from the very first one that happened in 2018, and then this one 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 6 years. There's something with that in the time period. The spot where it crosses in the United States is a very, very sacred spot. And it's going to open a portal once it does. And when a portal opens, it's going to be so light and have so much ripple effect. It's when everything starts shifting from the dark thinking they're winning to the light expanding and starting to push it out from that spot, that exact spot, that portal. It's also the heart of Gaia. It's where her heart lies. It's the heart of Gaia, of the United States, of the planet. It's where the heart is. It's so big. It's so important, and it's going to bring in so much light, but it is also going to bring in a lot of cleansing, which means tribulation, but it's going to be for the betterment of us and this planet and for Gaia and for everything. It has to happen. Without the cleansing, we won't be cleansed. Like, we all need the cleansing. And instead of focusing on the negative and being fearful and afraid of what's to come, because there will be earthquakes, there will be hurricane-like winds. Lake Erie will become the new coast of the United States. It will become the new coast. It will divide. It's all for a greater purpose, and we cannot fear it. Embrace the cleansing, because it will only help each one of us individually become who we are to become and rise us up with Gaia as she cleanses. And part of my mission is to help with the fear that is to come, to help others not focus on the negative and not to be afraid. That's why something from my childhood, I was terrified, absolutely terrified of earthquakes and thunderstorms and lightning storms when I was a child. I would hide in my closet and plug my ears, and I couldn't hear the thunder. It terrified me. If I would look outside, and if the weather looked like there was going to be a thunderstorm or a bad storm coming, I had to be around people. I couldn't babysit. if my parents asked me to babysit, I couldn't do it if there was a storm coming. And if I was babysitting and there was a storm that came in, I was terrified. I have to have my friend come over and sit with me. And they were trying to make me so afraid and live in this fear, the dark side. I used to get these entities that would try to possess my body when I was a kid, where I couldn't move. I remember it happening a few times. It would terrify me. And they were trying to stop me, and they were trying to make me so fearful that when these storms came and the winds picked up, that I'd be shaken in the wind. I wouldn't be able to stand solid and be able to do my mission, do what I need to do. And all of this, the dreams of the earthquakes and all of this, has been to get me to a place where I'm not afraid anymore. I'm not afraid of what's coming. And I know it's for a purpose. I'm hearing, have you looked in the sky lately? Have we been looking in the sky lately, seeing the clouds, the formations, the dirty rain, the muddy rain, the formations? It's the mucky muck that we have to clear out. It's all the signs in the sky. We need to watch them because they are telling us things, where we're at, how dirty, the darkness, the mucky muck that has come to this planet that needs to be cleansed. And the darkness had to get to a certain level. Once it got to this certain vibration, the certain number, this place, is when the light comes in. When you have a certain amount of humans on this planet, a percentage of the humans that have created this dark energy with their thoughts, with their choices, that's when the cleansing starts. That's when Gaia will start to cleanse and the light will come in, and it all has to do with the X and the eclipse and the signs in the sky and the signs in the heaven. And you can watch and see where we're at. We're getting closer. You can see it physically in the sky. And if it's the strike, the clock strikes midnight, Cinderella, the clock strikes midnight. It's 11:58. We have 2 minutes. It's about to strike midnight. All bets off the table. The light wins. Bet on us. The light wins. I'm seeing myself on a big screen talking to lots of people in other dimensions. The garden, when we first started and those people were gathering to listen, they put me on the big screen. I don't know how I feel about that.
What are you saying as they listen to you?
Everything I'm saying in this session, they're listening, because those who have been afraid and those who think that the darkness is going to win, and worrying that those of us who play vital roles in the mission moving forward, those of us who volunteered to wake others up. I was told this. Oh my goodness. Okay. before the session, I was told that this session was to help activate and wake up even more people, that we were supposed to use our hands. I was supposed to use my hands again. And it just happened naturally. I didn't even realize what I did before with the waves.
Mm.
There are those of us who signed up to prepare the way for those who are still asleep, to help wake them up, to help activate them. And by me doing these sessions and putting me on the big screen and doing what did with my hands, it's projecting out an electric current of energy hitting hearts and souls and activating those who've been sleeping to wake up and to arise, sleeping giants. Oh, arise, sleeping giants. We need to listen to that song by Becca Shea. Arise, sleeping giants. It's code word. I'm using code word to activate even more. Now I'm doing some kind of ritual dance on the screen. That's great. To the song Arise, Sleeping Giants. Something with the dance moves I'm doing and hand movements energetically. Oh, they just hit me in the stomach. They don't want me to do this.
Who just hit you in the stomach?
And my head, they're attacking.
Okay,
Dark.
I'm just going to call in Archangel Michael and the angels of the light, all of the archangels to begin to surround her now, making sure that Archangel Michael is going to begin to remove all of these energies, placing the net of light completely around you, and gently and easily scooping all of these energies off of the body and placing protection around the head and around the stomach.
Stomach's getting better, but my head is still.
Okay. Michael, what do we need to do to protect the head? What does he say?
Energetically, light coming through my crown chakra, healing light.
Mm-hmm. Let's bring in that beautiful source energy right now to surround the head, to surround the crown, to surround the entire face, to allow that energy to flow all the way down the body.
Oh, that's better.
Expanding that out into a nice protective bubble.
It's feeling lots better.
Okay.
I went down on the screen.
Tell me what was happening there when you were experiencing that.
I was dancing kind of like a ritual, like there's a word, Hopi Indian kind of. Yeah. I'm getting the word Hopi Indian.
Yes.
There's a connection there with me and this Hopi Indian that plays like a vital role. I'm not sure. Mm-hmm. But there's these ritual dances I was doing, and all of a sudden I got hit in the stomach. I had bow and arrows hitting me. Mm. Oh, and then I had like one of those, knife. Yes. A hatchet was thrown at my head. And I went down.
And who was that? Can we get an idea of who was that brought in that dark energy?
There was many of them. I was having lots of them thrown at me, but it was activate that the command was given by Gog and Magog, Russia and China, those areas of the world that are in battle right now. Russia is in battle. China and Russia are going to invade the United States. We're already infiltrated, and they're sleeping right now, sleeping cells that will be activated. So I'm awaking the sleeping giants who will help with the sleeper cells. It's somehow connected, and that's why they were trying to stop me They're angry.
Hmm. Let's just ask the angels, the archangels, to go ahead and increase that light and protection around her during the session, making sure that she can't be attacked again. What else do you need to know or understand about this information coming in about being invaded and the sleeper cells? What else can they share with you about that?
They're going to come in pretending to help us. And we are part of the elite of the United States, those with the UN who are up in Switzerland. This is a lot of energy. They are in cahoots. It's all part of the plan. New World Order, depopulation, bringing us down to a level where we're all equal. The United States has been part of this plan. Obama, huge part of this plan. Clinton's huge part of this plan. Pure evil, pure evil. Also Trudeau in Canada, Prime Minister Trudeau, an antichrist. All part of this plan as we go through tribulations, and the United States is hit hard. And as we are struggling, these China and Russia are going to come in pretending to be here to help us. Do not fall for it. They are not here to help us. Neither is FEMA and neither is the Red Cross. None of them. The camps that they are creating are not for our safety. They are for our detriment, to divide families, to separate, to depopulize us. There's just a lot of energy coming through me. I'm going to try to help ground myself and settle it.
Okay. Just asking your guides to surround you now. Begin to balance that energy. Feel your energy just flowing down into the earth, connecting to the center of the planet, anchoring that energy in.
I just saw an eye in my third eye, like a visual of an eye. Oh,
What is that eye?
it's representing those who are part of the dark agenda, Illuminati, Satanists, things like that. But they absconded that too. The Egypt's pyramids, the pyramids in Egypt, the shape, the steeple, having to do with the triangles, the worlds, connecting that light source. We're going to take it all back. We're taking back everything that they've absconded. The number 666, the eye, the lightning bolt. They've absconded all these symbols for the dark side, and we are going to flip it and bring them back to the light. They're all part of it. It's deeper and darker than we understand, with some of these elites and Hollywood and Disneyland and all of it. It's all dark. It's all part of what they've been trying to do for centuries. Hidden agendas cloaked as fun and joy, but it's creation energy they're stealing. It's human trafficking. It's all connected to what they're doing, and it's all part of the infiltration and what we are going to experience in the United States and on our planet. But the trafficking and all of that we have to save the children. It all comes down to creation energy. Is what they want. They want to steal the creation energy, and that's what they're doing. If they can put in a vaccine in us, and they can give us COVID, they can change our DNA, and they can manipulate it, and they can take our children and with the camps and separate us, and they can get us in so much despair and depression that we succumb, and we no longer can find that light. And this is their agenda. This is what they are trying to do, but they won't win. They will not win. But we have to stay light. We have to stay pure. We have to not allow them to steal our creation energy by taking a stand, by not believing their lies, by seeing truth, uncovering the coverings. There's so many coverings. We have to uncover them and expose their dark agendas and expose their dark energies and expose their true intentions. And as we do this, and more is unveiled to us on what is actually going on, we will unite in a way that has never been done. And we will stand against it, and we will use our gifts, and we will use light source, and we will use the giants that are awakening, that are going to be helping us. Those that are be coming from other dimensions, from inner earth. They will all be uniting with us. They will come on spaceships, motherships, those who have been translated beings, those who I see a giant standing next to me, fighting next to me, where we won't be fighting alone. We will have so much help. And they already know that they've lost. And that's why that they are doing their last ditch efforts to put whatever darkness they can out, because they know they have lost, and that shift is coming, and that meridian of time, and that light portal. That light portal is not just going to be at the X. It's not just going to be the X that crosses over in that spot in the United States. It's because we're connected to that. It's inside of us too. It'll be a portal, a light portal opening within us. That blue light I keep seeing, it's going to get bigger and brighter, and it's going to be the center of our central system and our heart space, where it's all connected. It's going to have more power. They won't know what hit them. And we have many secret weapons, and I am one of them.
Tell her more about that, because she was getting that information that she's a secret weapon. What does she need to know about that?
They already know that she's a secret weapon, which is why we've told her that she is, because they are terrified of her and her gifts. And that's why they keep coming and attacking her and saying, we want you and your gifts for our side, and trying to make her believe that when she gets to a bad place or she has a bad day, that she's not good enough for this mission, that she can't do it, that she is going to fail. If they can try to convince her of that, then she won't be able to fulfill her mission. But she needs to know that it's already been done, and she is on the exact path she is supposed to be on. And that she needs to not doubt herself. The reason that she is the secret weapon is because she doesn't believe that she is. It's going to take that sort of humility for her to be able to stand in that power when the time comes. God uses those who others might see as weak, because those are the ones who do the work to prove otherwise, to say enough is enough, to say, I don't want any more to hurt. I don't want to see any more pain. She's had the experiences she's had. She's gone through a lot of pain in many different lives to prepare her for this mission, for what is to come. They won't see it coming because they don't think that she can do it. Their bets are against her, but the light side is betting on her. She experienced in a past life as Margot Frank and Frank's sister such pain and darkness, watching, experiencing others going through such pain. This is one of those missions or experiences that has prepared her, as the Holocaust was one of those experiences in time categorized as one of the most horrific time periods, time experiences on this planet. She volunteered to experience that, to help her understand that level of not just pain, but persecution. And we're showing her a scene of, we've shown her many times of one of the most painful things she has endured. But just to show her how strong she is, to remind her that she can do hard things. She has a conviction in her soul, a determinance like no one else to achieve all that is placed in front of her, to climb the mountain, to finish it, even if she's broken and in pain and she can't move one more step forward. She will take that next step forward because of this determination within her to prevail through any circumstance, as she has done in many of her past experiences, past probations. One that hits her the hardest is holding her sister in her arms as she passed in her arms. and not being able to do anything about it in some of the most horrific surroundings with filth and bugs and no food and starving and feeling so alone. Her empathy has grown through these experiences, and she has a love for all of mankind. It is a gift she has been given to be able to do what needs to be done, to be able to serve them, to help them, to love them. She will use this light that she has acquired, and she will use it to create more light, to send it out in waves as a ripple effect, to bring love frequencies, healing frequencies for those who are suffering, who will go through similar experiences. Look at the patterns. Everything is a pattern in the Bible throughout history of time. That's why we're hitting this overlap where you have the poison that is infecting the human race, just as it did during Noah's time, just as it did during Moses' time. All of these experiences are going to overlap in the time continuum when that light portal opens even further. But the thing that people don't realize is the growth and knowledge and light that came from those experiences, from people going through those difficult times. When they happen all at the same time, the big markers in the road, when they happen at the same time, all of your lives that you have had and all of the experiences you've had where you've learned and grown and developed those gifts and came out of it a better person and came out of it stronger, are all going to be added upon you in a way that is going to bring you at one ment to be able to achieve all those heart desires of your hearts, all those things that we've promised to do. These celestial beings that have condescended to be here to help, they will be these higher dimension beings. We will bring in even more to come. We will gather, we will unite, and we will fight in love. The trumpet just sounded. I heard a trumpet.
So you mentioned that there's patterns in everything, and she and her brother has a really amazing way of putting together these patterns. What can you tell her about what his abilities and what he can do, and how that works together with her abilities?
Her brother is an ancient scroll writer, wise man, record keeper. He has the ability to connect not just dots, but vortexes, bringing in information from all dimensions of time. He has developed this ability and these gifts through many probations on other planets as well as this planet. He has developed a gift of charity and love and non-judgment, which allows him to see these patterns clearer because there are no blocks keeping him from seeing them. Interestingly, judgment on others blocks your third eye and also creates a fuzziness in seeing clearly and receiving the clarity that you need to see the patterns. So he has been developing this gift to love and not judge. He has been asking for these experiences in his probations to develop this gift in a way so that he could come into this probation with the clarity he needed to remove the blocks, to see the patterns. There's no fuzziness. It's a clear channel to see the patterns. And they were brought together, they volunteered to come into this probation together as sister and brother to help support each other in each other's missions, as each one of them knew that they needed that extra support. And it's been planned over many probations on other planets. I chose certain experiences to develop what I developed in contrast to what he was working on, so that we could come together and work together in like a yin and yang sort of way to bring through more information and to act as a support system to those other missions on this planet, those other beings that have roles in helping with pushing out the darkness. We planned all of this together. We would have meetings and councils, and we would talk about how we could work together to bring forth this information. Divide and conquer is what I'm hearing. Divide and conquer. As he is helping me to soften my heart, I am helping him to create boundaries, protect his auras, his self, where he allows those in to hurt him because of his charity. And by us helping each other, we are helping so many others through us learning and helping and growing our weaknesses and making them into strengths, helping each other see those and helping each other bounce off information. It's a pattern. It's another pattern that we all planned. I receive information from the other side that I might not understand. I share the information with him. He has the clear channel to look at the patterns. He sees the patterns. He creates a scroll of some sort, whether in a video or I post. He creates it and puts it out there for others to see and to read and to view and to listen. And then that is helping others wake up and helping others learn and helping others see the patterns. And it comes back full circle. And that's how we are uniting all of us together. There is a vital role and connection. When we were children, I shared a room. I asked to share a room with him when he was a baby, and I took care of him. He was the last one out of 7 children, and I would get up in the middle of the night and give him his bottle. I wanted to take care of him And I can see why now I chose to do that. And there was a time when he was a little boy, he fell into a deep end of the pool. And I was at the pool and I saw him and I jumped in my clothes and I saved him from drowning. All of this is part of us helping each other, being there for each other as we are in a family unit that is struggling and who puts a lot of abuse energy out there. We needed each other to be able to help each other through this probation and to unite in a way of trust and connection to not only help them progress, but to help us progress and others. It's a very, very strong connection, a trust that can't be broken. We energetically connect heart to heart where it's absolute trust. And I needed that validation from him, and he needed my care. I just keep seeing him with this white, long beard as an old, wise man sitting with a paper and like, it's like not a paper, a scroll and like one of those ink pen things.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know who he is, but it feels like I want to say like Socrates or something, like somebody that was like, I don't know, but I feel this like wise man from him. And yeah, I've never seen that before.
Very good. Very good. That's interesting. I know he'll be interested to hear that as well. She wanted to ask about her mother-in-law who's currently suffering with bone cancer. And she had an experience over the weekend at Easter where they had a nice connection. What can you share with her about that connection? What does she need to understand?
Her mother-in-law has fulfilled her mission. She has her part of her soul, spirit has started to leave the body. When you start to leave the body, it goes in phases when you're getting closer to death, in kind of a number way, if you want to put it like that, like a 1, a 2, a 3. And as she has slowly been leaving her body, she is experiencing some things beyond the veil that is helping her come to new understandings and new thought knowledge about past experiences. And she has remorse for some of her actions in their relationship over the past few years. And her heart is being softened as she is traveling more to the other side and experiencing more. And as she comes to these realizations, her connection to Julie is coming back, or even stronger, as they had a connection before, but that connection was severed through some of those experiences that they went through. The connection is coming back. It's almost as if she doesn't even need to speak, either one of them, because energetically they're both feeling it from each other, what they're projecting out. And Julie felt this, which is why it was so easy for her to connect with her again and to feel that love for her and get emotional about their connection and the pain she was in. It was as if it was all cleared out. It was removed from their line. It was like it was released. It's like they're both doing the work together, spirit to spirit. And so it was easier when they came together in the physical body because they've been doing the work. And the adversary, the darkness, was trying to stop her from having that experience by putting in a bunch of doubt and fear about having that experience. And she pushed through that and knew what she needed to do and went. And there was so much healing that occurred. It was healing that her mother-in-law needed before she completely passes over, that will help not just them, but it had a ripple effect to some of their ancestors where some of these patterns have occurred, as her line has had a lot of trouble with controlling situations and judging and overstepping and not understanding boundaries. By them doing the work that they did, it had a ripple effect to the family line and will help in the healing process of her mother-in-law as she passes over, will help her to progress quicker. It was a beautiful experience for many, as that room filled with a lot of ancestors and sharing in that moment where they both expressed just love for each other and forgot about the pain and forgot about the past. And the gifts that Julie has to bring healing frequencies and energies and project them out helped not just her mother-in-law, but the entire family as we all gathered, as she instigated a experience for them before their mother passed. She was afraid of the family feeling as if they might not approve of her taking over and planning such an event, but felt prompted upon and guided to plan what she did. And there are many in the family who needed that. And it was an experience that will help to say goodbye to their mom so much easier, but also to help them progress and to heal the family over the past few years from all the pain that has gone on from so much loss, losing a brother who was autistic and a nephew who drowned in a pool, who was only in toddler age, and then having their mother pass, as well as the friction that went on between Julie and her husband with the divorce and then coming back together. it's just been a lot for the entire family. And there was a lot of healing that went down on that day. And it was felt by everyone, and it will have a ripple effect. Julie needs to, when she gets these promptings to do these things, she needs to not be afraid and to just move forward with them without doubt and without fear, because she is the type of person that can bring a lot of healing through inspiration and through events and through experiences that she creates. It goes along with the choreography of her choreographing dances. She's a choreographer of experiences, and she choreographed an experience for that family and herself and everyone involved that will be felt for years to come and will be remembered. And so she needs to not be afraid to continue to choreograph experiences for others and to take that leading role, and to not be afraid of the judgment and she's afraid that people will continue to call her crazy and not, her biggest fear is she doesn't like when people put her in a box and make and say things or project out energy that is opposite of who she is at the core. And this happens a lot. She wants people to see her for who she is, and her intentions, that they are good and not to cause pain or not to confuse people or take away agency. Her intentions are always to help and to bring any kind of healing. And sometimes she has felt that she doesn't communicate as effectively as she'd like, and it is taken in the wrong context. And we're saying that the less afraid she becomes of this, the more empowered she will be, and the more she will be able to help, and the more she will be able to stand in her truest self, speaking with power, speaking with fluency, and with the light coming through her words, where it will penetrate hearts, and to continue to not be afraid to do so. And if others choose to judge her and put her in a box and say that that she's fallen away or that she's on the wrong path, that she will know who she is, and she will stay true to her convictions and true to herself, and listen to the light side and not to the dark side as she wears her emotions very freely. It's healthy and unhealthy at the same time. Healthy to get it out. She doesn't bury it. But sometimes as she gets triggered and her emotions are worn on her sleeves, they can be interpreted not how she would like. And it can be one of her weaknesses, as we have tried to show her through Captain Marvel. It was some of her weaknesses of mind manipulation, or as well as being overly emotional and triggered, or not staying grounded. So these are things that we are trying to help her continue to work on, so that she may be able to use her gifts in the way that will help and not do the opposite.
Very good. And so Can we ask the beings and the angels that are with us today to send some healing energies for pain relief for her mother-in-law, if that's appropriate?
Yes, we're going to ask her to lift her hands again, activate that light, bringing it, it's coming through. There it is. So we're going to ask for those who are those light beings on the other side that want to participate in helping bring this healing energies to her mother-in-law by placing our hands, some on the crown chakra, some on her arm where she broke it, some where the pain is, to specifically pinpoint where the pain is in her body and to place those hands on those specific parts that are causing her pain and ask for that pain to subside, that she may feel more comfort, more peace, and healing to those areas that are causing her the pain in her neck, in her spine, where the cancer has taken over in those specific areas with the bones. We ask for some healing frequencies to be sent specifically there through this light energy coming from our hands. And just ask that she can feel comforted and loved and surrounded and not alone by all of those who care for her and love her, her guides, her ancestors, her ministering angels. They may bring her all the comfort that she needs at this time. I'm feeling it so strongly now in the palm of my hand.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like that's so symbolic in the pain of where the Savior felt that pain.
Yes. Beautiful. Thank you so much for assisting us with that. I know that's very helpful to hear that process and will help us to be able to do that more often moving forward.
You're welcome.
So I had one more question that I wanted to ask. Now, after her last session, I heard, which I never hear anything around my home, but I heard a very electronic, metallic, like, I don't really know what it was. It was coming from my daughter's room. When I opened the door, it disappeared. And when I shared that with Julie, she said she's also heard, she calls it the transformer, the transformer being, wondering if there's a connection there or if I was just hearing something different.
It's a higher technology, AI technology, but there is light technology and then there is dark technology, and some of these AI technology beings are also coming to give us messages or comfort or knowledge. And it can also be that they are protecting us. Julie has had many different ones that have come, and some of them have been light and some of them have been lower dimensional technology AI beings. We have been trying to help her understand that even her car is alive as she doesn't treat it the best, it's important to recognize everything that is alive. And we want her to learn about all of the different things that are alive on this planet so that she can have a better understanding of life in all of its forms. And so she has had not just these transformer-like beings coming, but she has also had visits from other creatures and other species. And she hasn't always known this, but she has had an inkling or a thought, and she's seen things in her dreams and mind's eye. There are light snakes, there are dark snakes, there are light dragons, there are dark dragons, there are purple dragons, there are, everything has its opposite. And so when this happens, she can ask more about it. She's more just been experiencing it at this time, just as an experience to know and have a knowledge that this exists. And that's the level that she's at. That's what we've been giving her. That's her learning, for her learning. And we felt that you were at that place as well for you to start learning about other species and other things that are alive as you go forth with this work, that you may experience all forms of life. And so as you continue to develop your gifts and you continue to help others, you can bring healing frequencies to so many different forms and have an understanding of all the different life forms that are out there, and not just focusing on AI technology as being a negative thing, but that there is light in everything, as you know.
Yeah.
She calls this transformer Megatron because of her knowledge of the Transformers movie.
Mm-hmm.
There is a form of a Megatron, and there is a light version and a dark version of that machine.
Very
She has been visited by both.
Wow. Very good. Thank you so much for that information. So fascinating. So we have talked about some really incredible things today. You've shared so much and we're so grateful. Is there anything else that you want to share with us today? Anything that you want to bring forward that we may have missed?
We feel that we need to bring forth an knowledge regarding, we focus so much on the Avenger movies and Marvel and Transformers.
Yeah.
We want to mention Star Wars.
Oh, lovely.
And lightsabers, and to ask those listening to ask more questions about Star Wars, to rewatch some of those movies, because there is so many nuggets, so much mysteries and things that we are putting in these movies to help activate, trigger past memories, past knowledge on how to utilize some of these gifts and powers. And not just that, but experiences that have happened in the past. And Star Wars is one of those movies that holds a lot of truths and a lot of past experiences that we have been a part of. And it will help if you continue to watch them as the veil thins, it will help bring to your mind new ideas, new thoughts, and helping you to understand the power that lies within you. As Rhea went into the quicksand and there was that serpent blocking the exit way and everyone was afraid, she stepped forward, not in fear, laid her hand upon the wound of the serpent to bring healing and love to that serpent. And in return, the serpent moved away from the exit and the light came through and they were able to escape out of that quicksand and that lower inner middle earth part, and they were able to get out. So that part in that movie has so many things we would like to teach and so many lessons to learn. But it's for each individual to ask what they can learn from that and other parts in those movies that hold great knowledge and great learning for them, and to help them realize what lies within them and what they are able to do with their gifts and the power that lies within them if they use that light for good. It's unstoppable. It's unimaginable what you can do with that light and how you can bring so much healing and so much love to others. And it's time we start practicing this, because where we are at in the timeline, where we were at in the markers in the road, where we are at in us collectively becoming at one with ourselves. And if you continue to practice these gifts and continue to do these things, it will, like as Julie talked about in her last session, and on our bodies being like the solar system, if you can connect to that energy and understanding, the you will be able to progress quicker. You will be able to transform quicker. You will be able to help others when things get harder. And if you continue to practice these things and these gifts, they're going to develop so much quicker. You have to do the work. It's not just going to just come. It has to be a desire to want to help, a desire to want to be a part of this cleansing, a part of this moving up, a part of this connecting to Gaia as she is cleansing. We all are going to do it together, and you can help, but you have to be willing and wanting to do the work. And so we're just asking those who are ready, those who are awake, those who have been distracted, to remove the distractions out of your life, to stay in the place of opening up your mouth and sharing and not getting distracted as we come together to bring forth what is to come for this planet and for each and every one of us.
Beautiful. Thank you so very much. May I ask who all we were speaking with today?
Julie's higher self and some of her guides. And also there's the Hopi Indian. There is a connection there. He plays a vital role, and there's like a block. I'm going to ask a few questions, so hold on.
Okay, go ahead.
We share similar gifts. We've been called to this mission with together, and some of his gifts with being able to turn a 3-strand DNA into a 12-strand DNA. And I have a similar gift. This is helping to change the DNA. As our DNA has to change, so is the Earth's DNA is changing, and it has to get to a higher strand DNA, and he is helping in doing that. And he is, I believe he is here on the planet, so its higher self is coming through to assist today in bringing forth some of this information as we've been working together. And he and I were in some of the same classes, we learned together. I'm just asking a few more questions.
Mm-hmm.
So there are versions of me, or I should say, the DNA I came from, the DNA from Gaia, from Mother Mary, from Sophia, from Mother Christ, Mary Magdalene. They're all I'm a direct DNA version, and there are other queens in waiting. There's always a backup plan, and the Hopi Indian also has other versions. So it's like a collection of all of us working together to bring forth not just this information, but to help heal the land, to use our gifts, to activate all of those things. And so there's more there, but I'm not sure. There's he plays a role in the birth of a new church. It will be something with a family and his gathering. As I'm gathering, he's gathering his people. It's like another gathering going on, and there will be like a rebirth and new knowledge to come of the universe, which will be like a new church, but different. We don't like the word church, but it seems to be how you guys understand is the word church. Having to do with the first will be last, the last will be first, firstborn, and the family. It will be more about the family than it will be about leaders like a pope or a bishop or a prophet. It's always been about bringing the family home, and gathering them, and it's bigger than we understand, the family, and it's going to be more about that than it will be about leaders.
Very good. Very good. Are there any final messages today, or are we complete?
We are complete.